everybody. Great to see you again. This is Erica Hoffman with Hoffman Homes Tucson. We're a residential real estate group with over 19 years experience in Tucson, Arizona. We're brokered with eXp Realty. Today, I am so excited to introduce you to a friend of mine. He is the owner of DM Vasquez Insurance Agency. He's extremely well known here in Tucson, in business successfully for the last 19 years. And I want to introduce him to the community because the service that he offers is crucial to our home buyers as well as home investors. So I'd like to start off by asking Darius a few questions. Could you share with us all the types of insurance that you offer?
Sure. Well, my agency is a full line agency, meaning we do all the personal lines. It can be auto, your home, your motorcycle, your boat, your life, your renters, your rental properties. And then on top of that, I am a specialist in commercial insurance, which means I do any type of business there is in the state of Arizona. So it could be business owner packages, general liability, workers' compensation, bonds, commercial auto, professional liability. I mean, just the list goes on and on and on because I have carriers for all those types of risks out there. Yeah.
So it's really clear that DM Vasquez here in Tucson, Darius Vasquez, really covers all insurance outside of residential homes as well.
Right. Full personal lines, full commercial. Mm-hmm.
Exciting. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So for the purpose of our conversation, we're going to talk about residential real estate because that's what we focus on. Are all the policies the same?
No,
Is there a difference between carriers?
There's definitely a big difference between carriers. There's like preferred carriers, and then there's carriers which are not as well known, but maybe they're sold through like a brokered policy. Like there's certain big name companies which they don't provide their own insurance provider. It's like brokered through. And those policies typically don't have quite the same coverages built in as like say like a farmer's policy or a State Farm or even Liberty Mutual, things like that. So there's different sub-limits built into a policy and a client wants to be aware of what those sub-limits are because you could get into a predicament where you have a claim and you thought you had coverage for something, but the limits cut off at a certain amount. So you definitely want to know what those limits are. And a good agent would be able to tell you that. So.
Wow. Okay. So that's obviously you. You take the time to make sure people know what their limits are.
Right. By asking questions and talking with them and figuring out what they need and what is important to them. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah, because nobody wants insurance, but we all need it because for those worst case scenarios, right?
Right.
Yeah. It's better to prepare for the worst case.
Yeah. Ask the questions before something happens, not afterwards. So
right.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And what's the proper way to insure a home? Is it market value, replacement costs, or reconstruction costs?
So there's a lot of confusion when people call me getting a quote, thinking that they need to insure the home for the amount that they paid for it, and that's not the case. The proper way to insure a home is definitely reconstruction costs. So when I speak to a client, I'll ask them a lot of questions on the home, what it consists of, what it's made out of, what kind of additions does it have, the flooring, the countertops, the level of the ceilings. You have to go into detail because what we're doing is we're putting together in the system all these figures on a home which tells us how much it would cost to rebuild the home right where it sits.
Got it.
Land and location obviously are a factor in the price of the home, but when we build it, we're rebuilding it right where it used to be. So we want to make sure that we insure it for reconstruction costs or above that if need be, which sometimes we have to go above that.
Mm-hmm. So here's another question. If reconstruction costs go up, how do you keep people's, how do you keep people up to date with these new prices?
Especially in this day and age, the prices of materials and supplies and different things, even labor, has gone way up. So what happens is every year when your policy comes up for renewal, a new reconstruction cost figure is run. So normally, as most homeowners know, their home insurance rates go up every single year. In some years, it goes up more than others because the coverage on the home itself also has increased as well with these additional costs of
So
things.
that's good to know that it's being reevaluated every year.
Right.
Okay, great. And how important is the actual claim service in the event of a claim?
It's extremely important. I've had phone calls from clients who have a claim and they're just hoping everything's covered and everything goes great with a good carrier. And then I've had phone calls from people who did not have home insurance with me and were discussing the nightmare that they went through with their carrier because, A, they couldn't talk to somebody. B, they can never get a call back. They couldn't ever talk to even it seemed like a human.
Right.
Like a lot of things just automated and you can't speak to, or you speak to a different person every time you call and you're having to run through the whole story again. You want a company that has its own claims adjusters, which has people who are familiar with your situation and can kind of take care of you from beginning to end.
Okay.
And also it's good to have an agent because an agent, if you're having trouble, you can reach out to the agent and the agent can reach out to the supervisor, make sure that it gets handled. So.
I love it. I'm going to leave it at that question because what I see here clearly is you're going to get the 5-star service with Darius. If something really bad happens, it's a horrible feeling to be out there feeling all alone trying to figure out the system. Darius is going to be your partner. He's going to help you resolve the issue and get you on the phone with the right person to get things dealt with. I just want to thank you. I want to let you know that over the years, I've talked to many professionals in town, and I'm not surprised, but I know that so many people work with you. You've got a big name in town, and you're very well known. So congratulations on your success.
Yes.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Okay.